Good evening, everyone. Before we invoke the presence of God or the acknowledgement of the presence of God with us this evening, this is a very special week in the church. We call it a week of the Passion, focused on the passion of Jesus Christ and his rising. I'd like to just take a moment and invite you all to a few seconds of quiet silence and think of our brothers and sisters in the Ukraine, for whom this is a very difficult passion for them. And let us pray. Lord, as we gather before you this night, you who are the giver of all good gifts, we recognize and celebrate the blessings of the partnership between our generous benefactors who support us here at Villanova in our search for academic excellence through these endowed scholarships, and together with the students whose talents are being developed with your generosity. We ask you to bless the benefactors we proudly and gratefully honor tonight. They've chosen to invest their skills and resources in our students, knowing that they're joining in furthering the mission of this university, guided by our strategic plan, driven by our shared vision for Villanova to a new level of success, into our next era of greatness, building upon our strength and enhancing the Villanova experience for our entire community. We ask your special blessing upon these students whose personal gifts and skills are developing through this partnership, transforming their lives and the future communities that they will serve. May they continue to grow in the spirit of all Villanovans who share a commitment to the Augustinian ideals of searching for truth, striving for unity, and always serving others in love. Bless this university we call home, our leadership, our administrators, faculty, staff, the Augustinian friars, and the entire Villanova community serving here and abroad, our benefactors and valued student scholars, that all that we do for you and by you may happily be brought to a successful completion. And we ask this as always in the name of Jesus the Lord. Amen.
My name is Mike O'Neill, and it is my privilege to serve as the Senior Vice President for University Advancement. It is hard to believe, but this is our 10th annual Endowed Scholarship reception, an exceptional milestone and one that honors our most generous benefactors who make a Villanova education possible for so many, as well as our students who have such bright futures ahead of them. Looking around the room tonight, I can honestly say there's no clearer proof than this event of the transformative power and impact of philanthropy at Villanova. In this room tonight are students who represent every college and school at the university and nearly every major, with each student offering their own unique perspective and their slice of life to this wonderful campus they call home. Among our scholarship recipients are a Villanova engineer who is dedicating his extracurricular time to theater so he can prepare for a career on the technical side of entertainment. A Villanova nurse who is currently conducting research on social media's influence on the food preferences of adolescents. A Villanova School of Business student who is actively involved with Business Without Borders and is helping to generate small loans to sustainable businesses in developing countries. And a computer science major who is pushing himself creatively to develop a platform computer game for his senior project, even though he has zero graphic design experience. But he is pushing himself to do more than he could have ever imagined. And these are just but a few of the examples that surround us tonight. These stories and these experiences of each and every student in this room underscore what makes Villanova so special, our community. Scholars will go on to graduate programs at the top universities or take jobs at some of the nation's most prestigious companies and organizations. But at their core, They will always be Villanovans. As you will hear more about later from our Provost, one of the most ambitious goals of our strategic plan is to meet 100% demonstrated financial undergraduate need by the year 2030. And we have made tremendous progress in this area since our last strategic plan. In fact, the Villanova grant budget has increased by $50 million from approximately $35 million in 2008 to almost $85 million in 2022. During this time, we've also more than doubled the number of donor-funded endowed scholarships for deserving students. In total, donors have established 720 scholarships at Villanova. And this year, these scholarships have generated a budget of more than $10.5 million, supporting more than 950 students. It's incredible, and it's a testament to your steadfast commitment to our great university. But there is still, as there always is, more to do. We must ensure that a Villanova education is accessible and affordable to all. We must eliminate the financial barriers that prevent so many gifted students from attending Villanova. We must make certain that the cost to attend Villanova doesn't deter students from calling this campus their home away from home for 4 years. Because we know that with 100% certainty that scholarships are not only a tool for attraction, but also an investment in greatness. Your generosity enables our students to pursue their dream of a Villanova education. This is a lifelong gift, one that they will have with them always. Your generosity pays it forward and challenges them to pay it forward. Your generosity changes lives. Your generosity also provides the inspiration for our entire community to rally around making the university accessible to anyone who wants to be and who deserves to be a Villanovan. So thank you so much for everything you do for Villanova and for our students. You make a difference in so many young lives. You turn dreams into realities, you make futures brighter, and you're helping to move Villanova forward. For that, we will be forever grateful. And now it is my pleasure, thank you to all of you. And now it is my distinct pleasure to welcome our Provost, Pat Maggitti, who will provide a few brief remarks. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Mike. Student scholarships are critical to Villanova's ongoing success and an integral part of the strategic plan. Over the 10 years of Rooted Restless, we aim to close the need gap and meet 100% of demonstrated undergraduate financial need. Doing so will allow Villanova to remain competitive with its peers. It will also allow us to continue attracting and enrolling the most accomplished students. It will help to ensure that deserving students who want to call Villanova their collegiate home can do so, regardless of financial need. Our student community is a remarkable one, and it becomes more impressive with each passing year. Nearly 24,000 students hailing from 50 states, DC, Puerto Rico, and some 100 countries applied for the class of 2026. Of those applicants, we admitted 5,500, or 23.2%, the lowest admissions rate in Villanova history. The achievements these students bring to Villanova in terms of GPA and standardized test scores are remarkable and ever increasing. They are leaders in their high schools and communities, and then come to Villanova, where they not only excel in the classroom, but also contribute their energy to over 200 student organizations and give back through hundreds of thousands of hours of service. Our students and recent alumni are regularly recognized with national fellowships and awards, with nearly 100 Villanovans selected as Fulbrights since 2016. In fact, we are a top producer of Fulbrights in the country among schools with our same profile. In fact, the top producer amongst those schools, and top 10 overall when we compare ourselves to much larger schools. And our students continue to succeed upon graduation with typical placement rates of almost 100%. This year alone, we saw 97.8% of the class of 2021 either with a job or in graduate school 6 months after graduation. Those choosing to take their first job after graduation had an average starting salary of over $65,000 a year. Again and again, we see how transformative a Villanova education can be. And it is because of you that so many deserving students can pursue a Villanova education. There is no better way to understand the full impact of scholarships than to hear from those directly impacted by your generosity. So tonight, I am proud to introduce Jose Garcia-Orozco, a junior accounting major in the Villanova School of Business, a member of the university's honors program and a recipient of the O'Toole Presidential Scholarship. Jose has thrived during his time at Villanova, earning Dean's List honors in multiple semesters. Through the university's Match Research program, he was selected as a first-year research associate by the Education and Counseling Department for its longitudinal study of first-generation students. Jose went on to serve as an honors research scholar working with VSB faculty on a research project measuring the impact of opioids on how they affect Gen Z. And last summer, he was a launch intern at Ernst & Young, where he participated in rotations in audit, tax, and consulting. Jose's work beyond the classroom is equally impressive. He is actively involved with Villanova's Office of Undergraduate Admissions, serving as a Blue Key tour guide and ambassador, where he recently gave my own son a tour of the campus, and I appreciate that, as well as an admissions assistant. He not only gave a tour, he gave my son his cell phone number and invited him to text him with any questions he had, and I understand he does that for everyone he gives a tour to, so very special indeed. Jose is also a member of the Dean's Undergraduate Student Advisory Council in VSB and a class of 2023 senator in the Student Government Association. Through his role in student government, Jose serves as a student representative on the Board of Trustees Academic Affairs Committee, where I've gotten to know him through his participation on that committee, and I've seen firsthand what an impressive young man he truly is. He is a thoughtful representative of and advocate for his peers at the highest levels of the university. I can't wait for you to hear more about his Villanova experience, and it is certainly my honor to welcome Jose Garcia-Orozco to the microphone.
Thank you, Provost Maggitti, for your kind words. Good evening, everyone. It's lovely to see so many familiar faces in the room, but I remember in 2017, I stood in front of a large group of audience, just like tonight, and shared with that audience how excited I was to go to Villanova. I was 16 and had been selected as the O'Toole Presidential Scholar the year before. I was full of excitement, nervousness, and anxiousness, just like I am now. It is amazing that that future that I was so excited about at 16 years old has now become my reality. Being here at Villanova has truly changed my life and has afforded me opportunities that I could have never imagined. As we all know, Villanova students today are extremely accomplished, but the journey to get where we are now is filled with many challenges, long nights, and hard work. As a first-year student, I quickly realized that college was not like high school. I felt like I was always behind. As I listened to other students in my classes, I realized they understood concepts much faster than I did and had to meet with my professors regularly in order to keep up with my peers. As a Latinx first-generation student, I had to work very hard and utilize the support of my professors and the academic resources here. I received tutoring through CASA and spent many days and nights at office hours. But despite these challenges, my diligence, effort, and hard work paid off. But being at Villanova is not only about the academics, but also about the experiences. As a new and overwhelmed freshman, I just told myself, just focus on academics. But as we all know, that didn't last long. At Villanova, it was impossible not to get involved. I joined organizations like Blue Key, which is a tour guide ambassador group here, took on a role as a class senator in the Student Government Association, and even started a chapter of an award-winning club called SAYS, Save the Earth from A to Z, which is a student volunteer group here. But these are just a few things that I'm actively involved on campus. Through SGA, I organized and led a team that was able to raise the minimum wage on campus to $10 an hour. This work inspires me, and I am seeing how much our voices truly make an impact sitting in a room where big decisions happen. Anna says, I helped lead an initiative called the Cheer Up Campaign to recognize professors' efforts through the pandemic. Helping others is what motivates me to do what I do, following the teaching of Christ, love your neighbor as yourself, or as we say here at Villanova, caritas. As I was writing the speech, I wondered, would my 16-year-old self recognize me on the stage tonight? I cannot say that I would, but I know that I would be proud. I am standing here as the first student of color to serve as student body president. Who knew that that first-generation student who immigrated to the United States from the Dominican Republic when he was only 3 years old would be where I am now, more service-oriented and more of a leader than I would have ever imagined. But I still have a lot to learn and a long way to go. Looking into the future, this summer, I'll be working at EY doing forensic accounting and will gain valuable experience to hopefully become an entrepreneur and own my own company one day. I still have many dreams to pursue, and even though it's happening quicker than I thought, even way beyond graduation, I know I will not realize those dreams and goals alone. My achievements have been made possible because of my parents, who inspire me and who have been by my side, supporting me every step of the way, and who have worked so hard so I can have the best future possible. They're actually here right now, and I wanted to say thank you. Without both of you, I don't know where I would be right now. I also want to thank the Villanova community, the faculty, staff, and mentors who guided me, supported me, and my fellow classmates who cheered me on. Shout out to Nicole Davis. And a special thank you to Polly and Terry O'Toole, who have invested so much into my future. And lastly, of course, I want to give all glory, honor, thanks, and praise to God, our Father Christ on Sang Hong and Mother New Jerusalem, for encouraging me and leading me every step of the way. Thank you all so much for being here tonight, and thank you for your continued support for Villanova and its amazing students. And now I am pleased to welcome and invite on stage Reverend Peter Donohue.
Woo! Thank you, Jose. I'm going to go away from the script for a while, which I normally do anyway, but I think, Jose's story is an incredible story, and it's not the first story at Villanova. When he talked about being a Latinx student who came from first-generation parents to be the first person to go to college, and remarkably to be elected as the student government president here is an amazing feat in itself. But he's not the first. He's not the first-generation student that has come here. And I look back in Villanova in 1842 when it first began, and every student was a first-generation student. And many, many years after that, there were first-generation students. People that came from working-class backgrounds to really find a place here at this university that made them better than what they were, or allowed them to take a step forward in such a way. And it's because of all of you that we are grateful for that. And so there are many students here, sitting here tonight, that are probably first-generation students. So I'm going to ask them to stand up. Are you first-generation students? Stand up. And now no, don't sit down. Don't sit down yet. Don't sit down. I want all the students to stand. These are the people we're honoring tonight. These are the people that are the future of Villanova, and I want you to recognize all of them. So all the students, please stand. Now stay there. Don't sit down yet. I have a message for you. You are the future of Villanova. All of the rest of us that are sitting or standing up on the stage, as you grow and go out and get jobs and become other people in this world and take on other positions in the world, you are the future of Villanova. And you need to take the places of these people that are sitting at the table with you. You need to be the people that continue to support this university and are grateful for what you have been given. We talk a lot about at Villanova about recognizing the blessings that we have received, and we have received many blessings, and we need to return those blessings to others. So I impart on all of you, be around for the future of Villanova. Thank you very much. Now I'll go back to the script, okay? Jose and I are going to be seeing a lot of each other next year, and I don't ever intend to give him my cell phone number. But in his capacity as the SGA president, I expect great things from him, which is what tonight is all about. Stories like Jose demonstrate to us how meaningful your generosity truly is, and the lasting impact it creates in the lives of our students and the life of our university. It reminds us of the powerful and positive ways that our individual journeys can affect those of others. So I would like to start by thanking all of our scholarship benefactors. Our students, both past and present, are most certainly benefiting from your generosity. One of the great joys of being president is having the opportunity to meet students. And unfortunately, many times the job of president gets in the way of meeting students. But I've had the opportunity to meet Jose and several other students here. Cache, we've worked closely together. I expect to see her soon. But you know, there's many of you that have sat here that I've had the opportunity to meet, and unfortunately, I don't get to see all of you as much as I would like. But the students seated at these tables are currently benefiting from your gifts. Even better, maybe seeing how our alumni are thriving after the opportunities that each of you had at Villanova. And it would be interesting if I asked the alumni here, please stand if you were a first-generation student. And look where you've gone. In any case, back to the script. Not only have they done well after graduation, but more importantly, they have done well in doing good. They are igniting change that you helped make possible. It's thanks to the generosity of donors like you that these students were able to become Villanovans. They created platforms for success in their lives, and they are beginning to impact each and every one as they move through this university. As our students challenge themselves to grow, explore, and achieve together, they represent what it is to be a Villanovan. To constantly innovate, look ahead, and ask, what more can I be? What more can I do? As a great academic institution, we seek to do the same. Villanova is on a journey, constantly looking ahead, pushing ourselves to evolve, advance, and reach new levels of excellence across the university. As I often quote St. Augustine, we are on a journey to become what we are not yet. With the engagement of our entire Villanova community, We have a bold new strategic plan to do just that. The plan has several priorities, including scholarships and financial aid. And while other national peers meet 100% of student financial need, currently we are unable to do that. Because of this, we are at a competitive disadvantage, and at Villanova education is out of the reach for many, many deserving students. With the help of generous Villanovans like yourselves in this room, we are going to remove that barrier, and by 2030, we hope to meet 100% of undergraduate financial need for all who want to call 800 Lancaster their home. Finally, I want to acknowledge the resilience of this community in the face of a terrible adversity. With the tenacity and dedication of our students, faculty, and staff, and with the support of individuals like you, we were able to overcome what has been one of the most difficult 2 years in our collective history. For the past 2 years, we embodied the Caritas commitment, demonstrating care and concern for those around us. Our students shown Caritas by putting community first in their actions. Our faculty and staff demonstrated Caritas by finding new ways to teach and engage with our students while juggling various demands at home. And you, our alumni donors, personified Caritas by continuing to support Villanova and the members of our community who are at most in need. For this and more, I am very grateful. We got through these 2 years, and we're not finished yet. There are 25 days till graduation. But we got through this, and I constantly acknowledge the student body. When this university, when we collectively sat down and made a decision to return here in the fall of 2020, it was a huge risk, and no other school in the area was doing it, to bring students back to the campus and allow them to live here, to learn here, and to thrive here. And it was because of the students' willingness to really participate in the priorities that we set, the priorities that we put in place, the protocols that we set. They really believed in it, and they did it, and they challenged each other to do it. Our faculty came from far and wide, leaving lots of different circumstances at home to come back here to teach on campus. And it was an amazing tribute to what Villanova stands for. And I sometimes think that the students really did it because they did not want to return to their homes. Because whenever I threatened them with it, the mask came back on right away. But it was really, I think for us as we sit in Tallentine Hall, for those of us who sit in Tallentine Hall, to really look at the commitment that people made. The faculty, the staff was incredible, coming to do things that they never were expected to do. The dining service people, the facilities, the custodial people, who really put themselves at risk health-wise to make this place work. I am very grateful for everything that they've done, because this last 2 years has been Villanova like Villanova has never been before. Thank you.